Hello!
Hello, iOS fans!
It's the agents of Nightbolt.
We're back with a very quick talking head for you this evening because Games Workshop have revealed some details about the new Warband.
Ylthari's Guardians.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought it was Ylthari, but apparently it's Ylthari.
Very good. And as we know, these are the 4 Sylvaneth, I'm not sure what you call them, spirit something or others. They're kind of like tree people with spirits coming out, and there's probably an official name, but they're the Guardians, effectively.
Okay, that's a bit like Dryads, really, aren't they? If you're using generic terms. I'm
sure there's a specific GW IP-able phrase there as well.
Yes, and I've just realised, looking at the Warhammer community page, that if you in the foreground of the picture of the 4 warriors, there's like a Carador Overlord type thing.
Yeah.
I've noticed that before.
Kind of looks a bit like a Skaven contraption as well.
Yeah. Intriguing, that is. I'm intrigued.
Yep. I do like the models. I think the spooky colourings they've got combined with the very neutral wooden green and browns works quite nicely. Yeah,
I think they look good. I like them. I definitely, they're one of my favourite sort of set of sculpts from the new Season 2 Warbands.
They're growing on me, and I like the fact that Ylthari herself has like the... Sorry?
It's appropriate that they're growing on you because they're trees.
Very good, yes. I do like the fact that Ylthari is sort of like this, it doesn't have legs.
No.
It's all like branch roots and stuff like that. It's quite funky.
That is pretty cool, isn't it?
So without further ado, we shall crash on into them and we shall talk about what we think about each of the characters that we can see.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've sort of a few general points. I was quite intrigued by their Inspire condition, which is all the same for all of them, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which is basically they have to be healed or sort of healed.
Yeah, as long as the condition is met that they would have had a wound removed had they taken a wound, then they become inspired. Yes,
so that's quite unusual and interesting. And I have to say, just as a general point, they're quite a lot harder than I thought they would be. I don't know whether I know there are only 4 models, so I probably should have thought about it a bit more. But they're kind of much more tough. They're tougher than I expected them to be, and they're better in combat. Better in combat than I expected them to be.
They kind of are, but they've all only got 3 wounds, so they're not the toughest.
Apart from the one with 4. One of them
there's 4. One with 4, yes, and one of them only rolls 1 shield, but all the others either roll 2 shields or roll 2 dodges once inspired, or one of them rolls 2 dodges before inspired as well. So
I've forced us to get ahead of ourselves, so that's my fault. I apologise. Let's go straight into and talk about Ylthari, who's a level 2 wizard. I notice.
Yes, another leader who's a wizard, but I don't think we're going to see any non-leader wizards other than curse breakers this season now.
No, I think you're probably right, because the overlords aren't going to have money.
No, well, they might have a caster of some kind. But they do. It'll be the leader, I think.
Yeah. So
Ylthari, level 2.
Yeah.
She has a fairly solid 2 hammer 2 damage attack.
Yeah, that's very similar to Stormsire, I think, isn't it? Her basic pro-star, I think it's.
It is a bit, yes.
Yeah,
it is very. Although she rolls 2 dodges and has a movement of 4.
Oh yeah, he's shields and.
He has a shield.
And moves 3, but has better wounds. I was actually just looking at the attacks, but yes, I think the attacks are exactly the same. But the profile.
I kind of feel with the number of plus damage cards bouncing around these days that you kind of want more defense dice than wounds. It's better to just stop the attack dead than let it get through.
Right. I think you're right.
And then she has a ranged attack of 3 hexes, 2 dice because she's level 2, and 1 damage, which is a bit meh, but that's probably the same as most casters with a ranged attack.
Yeah, they are. I think it's the same as Warsmiths and the same as Averons.
And she does have a reaction, which is when she fully casts a spell which has a crit in it, the casting roll removes up to 1 wound token from her, which helps her become inspired at the same time. Yeah,
so you'll be looking at maybe firing off a spell with an extra determined effort or something to inspire her, try and increase those chances of getting a crit.
Yeah.
So it's sort of easier than Vortimus is. You have to cast a spell, hit with a ranged spell or whatever it is, because it's you actually have to, and it's easier to inspire, I think, than Stormsire's spell, because that involves you have to actually do some damage. In one of the games we played, I couldn't get him to do any damage
off at all.
Whereas this is just literally roll a crit.
You've got to roll a crit, so you've got a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah.
But not even that, it's even better than 1 in 6 because you've got 2 dice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, that's not in itself easy, but at least it doesn't rely sorry, at least your opponent can't mess it up by rolling a pesky crit of their own.
Exactly. Now she doesn't improve dramatically once she inspires. Her ranged attack does 1 extra damage, and she gets 1 extra movement, but that's it. So she's fairly solid to start with, and she remains fairly solid thereafter.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what a storm size inspire condition is. Not condition, inspire stats are, but the reaping is very like a fulmination. Yes, it's pretty much exactly the same. So
and Vortimus's attack as well, I believe.
Yeah, so you can do the same kind of powering up with the various extra +1 damage cars with Ylthari that you can do with those guys, I think, to make that into a nasty ranged attack.
Yes, so she has some promise there. I think an all-round a fairly solid fighter from the get-go, really.
Yeah, I think so. And
then we move on to her second in command almost, which is a Revenant Archer. Oh, that's what they are. They're Revenants. I keep forgetting that word. Is Anslain.
So Revenant, does that mean they're dead?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Isn't there? I can't remember what a Revenant is. There's a film about it, and I can't remember what a Revenant actually is.
There is. I don't think GW have taken that approach. So we're on to Anslain, the relevant. She is relevant. She's a Revenant Archer, and she's got a 3.
A Revenant. Sorry, I've just looked it up. A person has returned, especially supposedly from the dead.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. That's what a Revenant is for those of you who didn't know.
So we've got Anslain, the relevant archer. The relevant archer. I'm going to keep saying that one. The Revenant Archer, and she's got a range 3, 2 hammer, 1 damage attack, which is nothing particularly spectacular. And she has the same inspire condition.
It's not bad for a range attack. It's hammers rather than swords. It's the 2 hammers, 3 swords. Normally they're 3 swords, 1 damage, aren't they?
Yes, you do want to be giving her plus damage cards that will enable you to boost your damage without relying on great strength.
Or if you can get a +1 dice on a hit roll, then of course she's rolling 3 hammers, which is juicy. Especially if she can manage to take out another fighter, then she gets to do it again with a reaction attack.
Yes, her reaction attack is when she takes someone out, she can make that attack again. She can only do it once a round, but I mean, that's still an extra bonus attack, which is quite handy. You might be able to charge with her and shoot somebody, and then get an attack off again after that. Yeah. That would help you towards things like keep them guessing as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's true. It's not. I don't know. It's not an action. Oh, because you're doing 2. If you charge and then did another attack action.
Yes. Yes. Charges one, then the attack is another. So now she has a movement of 4, 1 dodge, and when she inspires, she only gains a dodge, so she has the least to gain out of everything. Oh no! Wait, I've just seen she's got a range 4 bow. Yeah, range 4 bow. Inspired. Yeah. So she's the first range 4 attacker I think we've got in the game. I thought that would be reserved for the dwarves and their machine guns, but there we go. No,
they're just going to jam up all the time. They're not doing anything. That's range 4 attack, and with a 4 move, that's pretty lethal.
You aren't going to get away from it. Pretty much anywhere on the board unless you've got blocking hexes.
No, give her Archer Focus and Glory Seeker or something like that, and she's going to be pretty nasty.
You could give her. There's another Fighter's Frosty or something. Is that one +1 damage if you roll a crit?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Which would be very handy as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not another not bad character there.
No, not at all.
And then we move on to Galagan of the Glade.
Galagan or Galahan.
Galahan, could be Galahan.
Yeah. He's I think he's pretty immense straight off.
He is pretty scary.
He's got 4 moves, which is high and tasty. And 2 hammers, which is pretty good. 2 damage, which is not exceptional, but it's not bad for uninspired.
And it's range 2 as well. Which
and range 2. Nice. Oh yes, I hadn't noticed that. Range 2.
No, I hadn't noticed that either.
No, but better than that, he's got 2 shields from the get-go.
Beefy. He's a beefy boy.
That's good. I mean, you're normally looking to try and inspire those kind of fighters to get them to 2 shields.
But he has it straight off the bat, so he's already got that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't think he's that good inspired though, really.
His inspired doesn't increase him that much, but he does have the reaction when he's either way that if he rolls a crit when he's rolling his defense, the attacker suffers 1 damage.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which is nice.
Again, you'd be looking at trying to get the Champion's Fortitude or something like that on him to help him
reroll some dice,
get those crits to do extra damage.
That makes him a little bit better than Angarad as well, because Angarad just gets an attack that she then has to make that does 1 damage, but for him you just got to roll a crit on your defense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he gets 2 block dice to start with instead of having to inspire first.
So it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Get him in there and hope he doesn't die.
And when he upgrades, he gains 1 knockback on his Protector Glaive.
Yeah.
And then he gains a Whirling Glaive attack, and that's it. So he's.
Yeah, I can't ever imagine using their Whirling Glaive attack. No, 2 swords is rubbish, and with the problem of cards only lasting for the first attack action, the extra chance of you doing extra damage to somebody in a circle or whatever. I mean, how often does that come off once in all of our games?
And not only that, when you do that, you generally have at least by default 1 or 2 extra people standing near you, which gives the opposition more assists on their defence. So
so I can't see ever using that. So in some way, he's almost, apart from his knockback, if you want to score something like get the heads, his inspire is almost pointless.
The good thing is, at least that means it's one less fight. You literally don't ever have to worry about inspiring him.
No, I don't think so.
You can concentrate on all your other members of the warbands. You don't have to care about him at all.
No.
So we'll move on to the 4th and final member of the party, which is Scathale.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Bless you. He's pretty average again, 2 hammers and 2 damage.
Yeah, but that's not bad. It's not a bad attack.
No. I mean, that's Severin and stuff like that as well, really.
Yeah, so. I think most of the offensive warbands have characters with that sort of stats in them, don't they? Like, I'm sure Fiends have got some people like that.
Yes.
And one block out of the blocks for defence, which isn't bad. He's got this reaction which is very similar to his compatriots, but this is on his attack roll, whereas if he gets a crit and the target is still alive, they suffer an extra damage.
So does that mean if they could survive the attack, because he could do 3 damage and they have 3 wounds, and then he does that and causes another wound, he can still kill him?
Yeah, it does mean that.
And that would count towards things like I can't remember the objective is Master Stroke for killing somebody from a reaction.
Yeah.
Or does that only count if you do an attack from a reaction?
I think it would count from a reaction, because I think it's. I don't know. I think it's an attack or a ploy.
It would a reaction, actually. Yes.
I think it's an attack or a ploy. So I'm not sure it would, because it's neither. It's neither a ploy nor an attack.
Yes, Master Stroke says score immediately if an enemy fighter is taken out of action by an attack action made as a reaction.
It
would not, or it does say, or a reaction made by a warband that causes damage. So it would.
It would count.
It's quite handy. But they're all different.
Yeah, they're all subtly different. I hadn't noticed that again until reading it out.
Which is quite irritating in some respects, because we're bound to forget these things.
We are. Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe you could put unparalleled strike on him, and then you need hammers and crits, so it's got a 50-50 chance. And then if you can get an extra dice, like determined effort or something, then your hammers turn to crits.
Some extra dice, or potion of rage or something like that to up his dice rolled, and you're doing some damage, but then he's going to cause an extra 1 damage with unparalleled strike. So that's almost a given upgrade for him straight away, I think.
It's pretty good, isn't it? And he's you could do that more than once. So it's not like the other one where you can only do it once per round. You could just keep doing that while you're attacking. So
every time he manages to do that,
you could attack Mollog with great strength, get a crit and do an extra damage, then play ready for action.
that could be pretty dirty.
Yeah. So
now when he inspires, he gets cleave and rolls 3 hammers.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I
didn't look at his much nicer.
Yeah, we haven't even looked at his inspired.
But that's it. Yeah. He doesn't gain any. He only has 1 shield, so he's still pretty flimsy in the grand scheme of things, and he only has 3 wounds.
Yes, he is. You're going to be looking at some technology to get him better defence or better woundage.
You're going to want something though, because he could be. I think he'd be one of my first targets out of the blocks to take out.
Yeah, I think you're right. There. Interesting one. So it'd be interesting to know how to deal with him, because obviously he's better in combat, but as soon as he's in there, then he's a bit of a glass cannon.
Yes.
So it'd be interesting.
So they are a very offensive heavy warband. I thought they were going to be really sit back and heal themselves after reading the initial Inspire condition, but they still seem to be quite an offensive warband. Yeah,
I thought there was going to be, just as a general thing, I thought there was going to be some objective hogging capabilities just as before I knew anything about them at all. Yes. There isn't. There's not really. There's nothing. In fact, even if we move on to their cards in a minute, they're even anti-objective.
Objectives. Yes, because the first one is Leech Power, which I hate already. Which is sit Ylthari on a objective. You can get rid of the objective and then remove a wound, so that will then also inspire her. So it's a bit like Regal Vision with an extra FU to your opponent if they try to get objectives.
Pretty great, isn't it? I mean, especially because you could even get that other objective. Is it Sorcerer's Scouring, or maybe that's only from a spell? Maybe
it's not Source. There's also Scorched.
Scorched Earth. That's what Scorched Earth is it?
It is, yes, Scorched Earth, which is score immediately if your warband removes an objective. So that's, you could get an objective, you could get her inspired, and you could remove an objective from the battlefield all at the same time.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Next one on the list is Healing Amphora, which is choose a friendly Galahad. Now it's odd that these mention a specific fighter, but they haven't got it in the at the bottom. But I guess it's because they're not upgrades; they're ploys.
Yeah.
So they don't generally do that for ploys. So choose a friendly Galagan or a friendly fighter adjacent to a friendly Galagan, and roll a defense dice, and on a crit or shield, remove up to 2 wounds from that fighter. Otherwise,
so it's like
remove 1.
Targeted healing potion.
Yeah.
Really.
So I immediately don't think I'd ever bother taking this card.
Well, I'm not sure because obviously it inspires. So,
but so would healing potion.
Yeah,
so
you might take both, but you would take it instead of healing potion.
Yeah, true. You could possibly take both or just this. But if you only can take one, healing potion all the way, I think.
Yeah.
And the last one, which you can't quite read, you can work it out. It just says score this in the end phase of at least 3 wound tokens were removed, and you gain a glory.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I guess. Well, you've got to be doing. You've got to have taken some damage. I suppose it brings up the spectre, which we talked about, of Shade Glass, not Shade Glass, Shard Gale, followed by Tainted Vitality.
Yes.
To damage everybody, then heal them all back up, inspire them all, and score this. Be quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, Orcs want Shard Fall anyway, or Shard Gale rather, should I say? But you've just got 1 extra card, and you've got everyone inspired, and you could possibly score this at the same time. Yeah,
I think that's quite a lot of cards in combination. I would fear getting Shard Gale or Tainted Vitality and not both at the same time, because you can't use Tainted Vitality unless they're injured. It's quite specific in the text of Tainted Vitality that they have to be injured for it to work, so you can't get away on this their inspire condition, meaning that if they would have been healed, because actually they wouldn't have if you played Tainted Vitality. So that's something I hadn't noticed initially, and one of our patrons supporters pointed it out to us.
Thank you very much.
So you can't use Tainted Vitality.
No. So we can move on to the next set of 3 cards. There's some interesting ones here as well. And the first one is Curse of the Dwindling, which is 2 lightning, so it's not the easiest one to cast, but it's still not super hard to cast. And when you do that, pick an enemy within 5 hexes, and they have -1 dice to their attack actions, which is horrific.
Yeah, and that persists until the fighter is out of action, so that is really horrific. Still not sure if I'll be stacking magic in this deck or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. You've got 1 spellcaster, so it's a bit of an eggs in one basket situation.
But it is 5 hexes. You can get most of the board by not being too far away from the middle.
Actually, 5 hexes is massive, isn't it?
It is really big. It covers most of the board. Yeah. So you get near centre and you'll almost be able to get everywhere. And -1 dice on attacks. I mean, people like Moloch, stuff like that, they're only rolling 2 hammers anyway. Another down to 1 hammer, that's going to absolutely destroy their chances.
That would definitely hurt you if you were Moloch.
No, very much would, yes.
Yeah.
And the next one is Writhing Roots. I don't think I'd ever take this one, which is the first fight to make a move. The next phase is -2 move, minimum of 0. Meh, don't really care about that one.
No.
And then there's Mesmerising Gaze.
Yeah, isn't that like a slightly better transfixing stare?
So you choose an enemy fighter adjacent to a friendly fighter, and choose 1. Remove an enemy fighter's guard token or place a move token next to the enemy fighter. So it's quite handy. It's got a slightly different. It's actually slightly better than Transfixing Gaze in some ways, because you can. Well, I haven't finished. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's slightly better, but it's worse in that you have to be adjacent.
Oh yes, I hadn't noticed that.
So you do have the option of removing a fighter's guard token or putting a move token next to them.
Yeah.
But you do have to be right next to them. So
that's a bit rubbish.
Smash in the face.
Yeah.
It has its pluses and minuses, I think. But
well, I suppose, but the reason for using Transfixing Stare is that it stops somebody charging into you. If you're next to somebody, they already have, or
that is true.
Or you have, and then you do it, and they just hit you back anyway.
But if you know that your opponent's running something like Change of Tactics, you could use that to stuff them up by removing their guard token, or by putting a move token next to them. I mean, that's the same as Transfixing Stare, really, but...
Yeah, but you have to be next to them so they can then hit you.
Yes.
Yeah. I think,
not sold on that one, I don't think.
I'm not actually. No, I hadn't noticed the adjacent. It's funny how when you read these texts, you don't read them out loud, or you just pass over them. You miss little bits.
That reminds me of the fact that they need to implement the same kind of keyword system that they have in Champions and other games like that, which is the keywords are literally are highlighted in bold or some way, so that you fixate on those straight away, so you can whilst you've got the flowery text around it and stuff, this really helps you realise what the aim of the card is immediately.
Yeah, though I don't know how that would work. You'd have quite a lot of that would be. Because, I mean, the word that I missed there was adjacent, which is I'm not sure is. Yeah, don't know how that would work in a keyword situation, but
just go with all in bold.
I just need to learn to read.
What
really.
we need is underlining and italics.
So I'm quite intrigued by these. I'm quite looking forward to playing them. Actually, I like the healing thing, and I like the crit, the sort of power of crits in this deck. It explains to me now why there's an elf on the front of Peerless Fighter card.
Yes,
there's another crit card. And I think it's interesting. I'm not sure you should play them though, Pete, with your
not with my score,
your luck,
not with my track record of rolling crits and stuff.
I don't think you should play them, but I might. So those defensive crit rolls, I'm quite good at those.
I can see this being quite a swingy deck.
Yeah, that's why one big thing crossed my mind is that I don't like things that rely on dice rolls, and quite a lot of this does. So maybe I'll actually get frustrated when I come to play them.
Because you find that if you can roll lots of crits, awesome, everything's going away. But it's probably going away fairly well anyway if you're rolling crits left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
But but if they don't, then I mean, are they? They're still not bad without those crit bonuses and stuff. So maybe they're going to be all right anyway, and the crits are just going to give them that edge. So I think a lot of people are already pinning these guys as being a top tier warband to take to the next tournament. I've seen a few people mention it online, and I mean, people were saying that with Mollog, and he did turn out to actually start topping a lot of tournaments, but that's, I think, because of his one-sidedness. These guys seem to be a bit more even across the board, but still fairly powerful.
Yeah, I don't think, I can't see anything here that makes me think, oh yeah, they're going to be, I mean, they're not going to be bad, they're not going to be, I don't know who's bad, Eyes of the Nine. They've got a very direct play style, which I think is easier to see how they can be good. But I think they've got some fragility in there. Yeah,
they've got a few people who are pretty weak. There are only 3 wounds. Anne Slane only rolls 1 dodge to start with and has 3 wounds. Scathale also only has 1 shield and 3 wounds. So 1 shield ain't what it used to be.
No, indeed not. There's a lot of cleave out there these days.
There is a lot of cleave. Scathale has cleave. Obviously, once he inspires, he'll be rolling 3 hammers.
But the Everhang had them for breakfast. Just saying.
That is that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so that's our initial thoughts on Ylthari's Guardians. Tough, but I don't think exceptional. Looking forward to trying them. And tomorrow we hopefully be back with a rundown of Thundrik's Profiteers.
Yes, I'm looking forward to them as well. I have to say, neither of the warbands really excite me from a lore point of view or a fluff perspective, however you want to put it. But I don't know, the models are growing on me a little bit, and some of the stats on the cards are intriguing, to say the least. So they'll be interesting to play. I
like these models. I think they're great. I'm looking forward to trying to paint them if I can find the time. I love the card art of these guys. I think I really like the card art, and they've got enough about them. I'm quite impressed by how much new ideas there are in each set of warband cards of how they work. This is completely something I would never have ever guessed in a million years, how these reaction and inspire mechanic works. I really like that, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Thundrik brings. And then of course we will have a complete rundown of all of the characters in season 2 of Warhammer Underworlds.
Yes.
Who'd have thought it?
We shall see you soon in the Mirrored City.
Bye.